Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Craig, can you do roll call?
Commissioner Kane.
Here.
Commissioner Watts.
Here.
Commissioner Campbell. Here. Commissioner Walt.
Here.
Commissioner Benedict. Here. Commissioner Toma. Here. President Boyer.
Here. I would acknowledge we had two executive sessions, one on May 15th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. and one on June 5th, 2023 at 6:15 p.m. These were for legal and personnel matters. Okay, next is a motion to hire Alan Gritz as a full-time Class E patrolman at a yearly salary of $53,580.80. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second. Okay, great, roll call.
Commissioner Kane.
Yes.
Commissioner Watts.
Yes.
Commissioner Campbell.
Yes.
Commissioner Walt.
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict.
Yes.
Commissioner Toma. Yes. President Boyer.
Yes. Okay, if I get the Honorable Tom Miller swear in Alan Gritz.
Good evening. It's an honor to be here to fill in for Judge Mills, to swear in her new police officer. When she called me on Friday and asked me to do it, when she said it was the swearing in of the new police officer, I said, well, I'll change my plans and come over and do it. If she would have said, come and swear in the new tax collector or something like that, I would have been busy. But I come from a law enforcement family. I'm retired law enforcement. My uncles and cousins in law enforcement. My son is currently in law enforcement. So, welcome to the fold. Okay, you have a great department that you're coming into. Yeah, with a history. The chief, we really haven't met and really don't know each other, but I hear good things about him. So, and that's a good thing because he's going to be your boss. So, without further ado. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of this Commonwealth, and that I will discharge the duties of my office as an Elizabeth Township police officer with fidelity. So help me God. Congratulations.
Alan's family can come on up, a chance for us to publicly acknowledge them as part of this journey. Just the other day, I was at Willowbrook Shop and Save, and by certain just happenstance, I ran into Alan and his wife and their children with my children. So it was a special moment to me because at that point in time, I knew he was joining our family. So it was exciting for me to already get to know his spouse and his small children. I also have small children, so our 6-year-olds thought it was kind of cool that eventually they could be classmates together. You know, one of the touching stories about Alan is he, you know, even in the interview process, he shared so much how, even though he's not an Elizabeth Township resident, he looks forward to becoming part of our community, not only as a professional, but as a resident and raising his family here. And that's a testament to the history of the police department before I came here, and I hope to carry it in a positive direction, just like the prior police officers have from our team. It's a lot of respect. I appreciate Judge Miller's kind words. Our agency is a fantastic agency. It's a fantastic community to live in. I'm very proud to every day wake up, look in my closet, and see Elizabeth Township police uniform, and to don it every day. And Alan will be an excellent addition to that team and that mission of community. Alan started classmates with some of our other ETP family. So thank Alan and his family for being here today on this special day. You'll remember this day forever, for the next 25 years of your career. And I appreciate the support of the elected officials and admin staff behind me, because without their support, we couldn't do things like this and continue to grow the Elizabeth Township Police team and make this not only a great community, but a safe community as well. So thank you, Alan, thank you, Mrs. Harris, and who do you have here with you today? This is my father and myself. Very nice to meet you. You're an excellent young man here, and we look forward to having him with us here for many years to come. Anybody want to take photos, feel free to do so. If you have photos, just to take pictures.
It's back there, it's okay. It's not just take pictures.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. All right. Have a good night. Celebrate House Meeting 128.
Okay, next is department reports. First is code enforcement, Chris.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight you'll see a motion on the agenda to approve the condemnation of the bulk of our demolition list. There'll be another hearing of about 10 houses in a month. Of course, we hired a code assistant. Been here a couple of weeks, working out well. And we will sooner than later start performing rental inspections. That's all I have.
Any questions for Chris? Yes, thank you. Next is the engineer's report.
Thank you. We're getting close to achieving a key milestone at Boston Buena Vista project. We did startup testing last week on Buena Vista. All systems started off fine. We tested it with some non-sewage water. They're getting ready to put in the last influent manhole tomorrow. And then starting on Wednesday, Buena Vista will be transmitting sewage from Buena Vista via force main to Boston pump station. Boston will then, via bypass pumping, pump it to the Keysburg. After Buena Vista starts up, then we're going to start the same commissioning process on Boston via these various pieces of equipment, pumps. And we anticipate Boston then transmitting its own sewage without bypass pumping on June 16th. So at that point, once those are done, that's the key part, and then we'll start doing the decommissioning of the Buena Vista treatment plant, tearing everything down, starting to build the equalization basin at Buena Vista. So it's been a long time coming. We're getting ready to achieve a key milestone. Jacktown Bridge, the latest update on that is we had an on-site meeting with Bealing. Bealing will be taking over the responsibility for the Pavers project. They are projected to come in on June 12th. I know the report says week of June 5th. They shift back a couple days to do another project. They want to have the right people on this project. So they're going to start work on June 12th. We're anticipating 5 to 6 weeks with them. And we'll get that project behind us as well. We opened bids for the Mansfield Storm Sewer project on the 24th of May. That bid, the apparent low bidder was Stash Contracting. The bid tabs include a packet for you tonight for the potential approval. The MS4 program, phase 1, is a series of 5 projects in order to achieve your goal for sediment reduction in the Happy Hollow and Fallen Timber watersheds. Those phase 1s will be opening up on June 13th, right here. We're also going to have a presentation. Greg Butler's allowed us to have a presentation. In a few minutes, you can see the preview up on the screen by Melissa Proletic. She's one of for. She's also an EF graduate, so she's very happy to be helping the community that she grew up in and still lives in. So she'll be doing that presentation here in a few minutes. Your rotating program is also put out for bid. That'll also be open on June 13th right after. As for bid opening, we have 4 roads out for bid as selected by the township days bus. Haymaker retaining wall, we're continuing the design on that. I anticipate getting a design set of plans to Mr. Butler for his review, and then we'll wait direction. As long as you are good with it, put that off the bid on the board. Anything else? I'd be happy to take any questions on the remaining items on my board, or anything specific you may have.
Any questions for Kevin?
Yeah, what were those roads that went out for bid?
Roads were, Ridge, it's gonna probably be the bulk of Karen, Bailey, and Helen Street.
Thanks.
Next is police.
Outside my written report, the only other thing I'd like to share is we had our quarterly Alice training / staff meeting on May 9th. Quarterly, the Elizabeth Township Police meet at each one of our 7 Elizabeth Fuller School District locations. We tour the school that we're at that time, and we do active shooter drills, and we talk about emergency response and reunification locations for those different facilities. Elizabeth Township Police will continue to focus during the school year and keep a high priority on our students as they are some of our most precious assets here in the community. And we want to make this school a place for education where they feel safe and they're not fearful of harm.
Any questions for Chief? Thanks, Chief. Rick, we're gonna talk about public works.
Yeah, I'll speak for Tom real quick. So Tom he returned our old bucket truck to Maryland, and then from Maryland, he went to New York to pick up our new bucket truck. So he is currently on his way back from New York en route, so he couldn't make the meeting. Just quickly, he had quite a bit on his report, which is, available to you. They've been working on Forest Hills Road. They've paved slide 1, slide 3. They're currently starting to put in drainage and fill for slide 2. That's the big slide in the corner. So that's moving along well. We did hire 3 part-time seasonal help last week, and so that puts us at 4 currently, and we're gonna hire 1 more in about a week and a half. That's really all I have.
Kevin, anything else on Forest Hill, or is Greg pretty much?
Great comment.
Okay, thanks.
I'd like to say something real quick about public works. This past weekend, we had one of the USA softball tour this weekend. They were using municipal, they were using industry, they were using Mount Vernon. So we had people from all over the tri-state area here, and the public works department did a great job cleaning all that up. It looked fantastic. Just want to make sure the public knowledge about it.
Thanks. Next is sanitary. Bill?
Please all have a report and find if there's any questions. I'll feel free to answer. Undecided fence on the way. It's so hard to find the house. Kevin, Australia, is down there. Everything's perfect right in front of me.
It's amazing.
Any questions for Bill? Yeah, thanks. So, sir,
I have nothing outside the items we discussed in executive session.
and Greg, council manager.
I'd like to start by commenting that I forgot to put the Mansfield low bidder on the agenda. I don't know if you want to add that or wait until July. A motion to accept the low bid for the Mansfield. Is it?
I mean, I don't know, does it matter?
I don't know the amount, so I didn't write
Is
it
that gonna
down.
mess up time?
Just putting back that amount of time, it's up to you.
Can we add it on?
Yeah.
Do you know the amount cut?
Yes, it's in my report, I think it's $102,430. It's,
102,430?
yeah, it's stash contract.
report quickly, got a few things, I'm not gonna read it all. We did receive our S&P Standard & Poor Municipal Rating Survey, I don't know if I mentioned that last month. It came back, we got an A+ rating on the municipal side with a stable outlook, which is exactly the same score we had 2 years ago. So nothing has changed. It all looked pretty good. They did distribute it to all the commissioners for you to review. On the grant side, we're having our final meeting with Cascade Container Company for the recycling bins that we were awarded through a grant. So we're gonna distribute over 5,000 of them. We are not going to, Cascade's going to. We were waiting for school to be done. They're gonna stage the assembly of the containers at the middle school, and then they're gonna distribute them over 4 or 5 days. So they're gonna bring in them in pieces, assemble them, load them on a truck, shoot them out, scan them, enter the address, come back and do more. So they'll be doing that, probably within the week they'll start. It should be done within 4 or 5 days. So the Green Light Go grant from 2021, if you recall, we got awarded $28,080 to retrofit some of the traffic signals with LED lights. So Lovedale is finished, that's the Lovedale Keysport intersection is finished. Half of the Boston Bridge intersection is finished, but there's so many lights there that some of them were able to be converted, some of them are programmable, so they weren't able to do it at the time. So we are going to use the rest of the grant money to purchase fixtures and programming units. So that I confirmed with Tom, our public works supervisor, and our electrician that they can install those themselves at a better date. That still won't complete the intersection because we just didn't get enough money to do it, but it'll complete 3/4 street, and then we'll work on other things. I'm applying for a FEMA scoping grant, and what that is basically, it's kind of an introductory grant for FEMA for them to come out to the township and look at all of our floodplains and do an analysis, and then we use that analysis to apply for other funding. So I've sat through a couple workshops, I've made contact with them. I'm gonna apply for that soon. Hopefully we get it. It's most likely that we will get it, but we'll see. Also applying for what's called the Allegheny County Act 152 Blight Grant. And that's gonna be an application for $40,000 to demolish 3 blighted properties. And those properties are in the motion that's in the agenda. I'm also gonna work with Kevin and KLH to work on a growing greener grant for phase 2 MS4 projects. And that's funding for construction of those projects, which are basically retention ponds and so forth. And then I set up a meeting without the board, with just myself and Bob Gola for Thursday, just for us to start talking about deadlines and grants and stuff, just for him and I to get a strategy together. So it's kind of intentional, nothing lately, just so him and I can spend some time getting a strategy together, and then I'll let you know what comes of it. We have a movie night this Saturday at the Boston Field. It's the first one in a while, right, Jamie? First one ever? I think it starts at 9 o'clock. Okay, gates open at like 8 o'clock. Okay. There'll be some treats and food down there to purchase, and we'll see how it goes. So spread the word. I wanted to mention that I was contacted by an Eagle Scout. His name's Luke Sippy, and he wants to build a fishing line recycling box at the Buena Vista and Boston boat launches. And I'm going to meet with him and his dad and his scoutmaster on Wednesday evening to discuss the plans. And unless there's opposition, I'm going to say okay. I think it's just I don't know who's going to actually service the recycling box, but I'll find that out. But it's a project, I was pretty excited that he offered me that. I'm just happy he's an Eagle Scout, still going at it. It's a good thing, so. I'll have more details, unless you're opposed to it, I'll move forward with it. Skip a few of the things, I don't want to make it too long. I guess lastly, I want to thank a couple parties for litter pickup over the last couple of weeks. So myself and Jamie Montgomery and two people from Allegheny Cleanways and a resident from Boston, I forget her name, her first name was Sherry. I think Commissioner Benedict knows her, Sherry. The five of us, tackled, scenery drive between Round Hill and 51. What a mess. The five of us were able to pull 25 bags of garbage in about 2 hours. It was pouring down rain, so thank you for everyone there. The Montauk Trail Council cleaned the trail area, road area down by the Sutersville Bridge that same day. I'm not sure how much garbage they got, but they were there for a couple hours. And the Elizabeth Forward School District Rotary Interact Club, there were about 25 high school students that tackled scenery also between the high school and Central Plaza. And took them a whole morning to do that. They tackled, so they cleaned all that litter. And then there were a couple local businesses that I'm not really sure who all was involved that cleaned out at the Boston Bridge. So thank you to everybody. It's a nice little hit. That's all I have.
Okay, any questions for Greg? Okay, that was a lot, thanks, Greg. Next is committee reports. First is budget, finance, grants, legislation, and general government. We had several meetings this past month. We met twice with the Library Association of Allegheny County. They're interested in us putting a library in the township. So what we're gonna do is put on our workshop agenda for later this month, so we've got the public to discuss that with everybody. Second, we've been having continued, like Greg said, grant meetings. We had a recent, some funding came up that came available with the Rush, so thank you, Kevin and Greg, for putting together some proposals today to get those in. We're hoping to get about $1.8 million before the end of the year from that. So moving forward with the grants, obviously. And we met with the DCED just to kind of get a feel for them for funding going forward for grants, especially for Chapel Drive up there. Try to figure out what we're going to do there and get some projects, some plans for what we're going to do to move forward there. That's it for budget and finance. Next is code enforcement, Josh.
Yeah, so we did meet this month, in addition to hiring an assistant. We're moving forward with condemnations and demolitions. It's a very busy time with code. That's all I have to report.
Parks and Recreation.
So we met twice this month, and some of it is what Greg had talked about. Our first meeting was about the community cleanup. Jamie, would you like to talk about the volunteer recognition day?
We just had a dinner get together to thank the high school kids and some of our adult volunteers who come in and help us with our events. It was very nice. Patty was there. It was nice. I think the kids from the high school worked really hard and did a really good job this year, and it was nice to recognize them.
So they had ordered some DeCarlo hoagies and a cake and things like that, which was an awesome idea. We also talked about the movie night, which Greg said June 10th will be our movie night. And we're trying to look to do more of those, like once a month. And then also talked about October 7th is the Fall Festival and starting pre-planning that, getting that together. Some other things were general topics were about Chapel Drive and what the scope needs to go. We're looking to phase a plan together for that. And once the pump station's done, maybe looking at Boston Field and some renovations with that, because it's desperately needed. Other than that, that's about it.
And just add to that, most of what we're doing, we're looking to do through grant.
Oh, sorry, the other thing is the tree planting. Do you want to talk about that, Cal?
All the trees are planted. Go see the top look, everybody should go see it, it's looking really good.
At the community center, so. Okay, thanks.
Personnel.
We did have one meeting, we had interviews, we hired, Autumn's liable for code, great girl, Township girl, so she, I think she's fitted well, she's working with Chris, and then, Officer Chris was, on the agenda, and, I think we're building a
did meet earlier last week, but, at this time, we're just gonna talk about it at the workshop meeting.
Sanitation, stormwater,
MS4 committee, we met last week, it was myself, Commissioner Campus, along with Kevin and Marissa of KLH. I invited Marissa here tonight to basically discuss kind of where we're at, what I'm calling the phase 1 projects, but more importantly, the 4 or 5 projects that we have picked out for phase 2 that she'll present tonight, and then I'm sure we'll have some further discussion for the upcoming workshop.
comprehensive plan,
We had no meeting.
okay. The public business development committee,
So I really don't have anything to report. The only thing I will say is, I heard tonight there may be some meeting audience, but definitely looking to get this off the ground. So any business owners or anybody who maybe knows a business owner in the township, please reach out. We're looking to do a lot with this committee and possibly even make recommendation for, things that the township could do to make it a better, positive business environment. So anyone that's interested, let us know and we'll try to put something together. But no, I have nothing to report.
and the public recreation events committee. Okay, that's all right. It was on the list. Okay, next is, presentations. So, could I get all the commissioners to come around? I'm sure a lot of you are aware that we never had a junior commissioner before in Elizabeth Township until this past year. Nathan really stepped up, handled actually quite a few projects for us on his own from start to finish. And just want to say really, really appreciate what you've done. You've done a fantastic job. So 2 things. You get your nameplate to keep. And second, this plaque is presented to Nathan Rakunas in appreciation of your service and dedication as Junior Commissioner for Elizabeth Township. So any other commissioners want to say anything? I mean, Nathan, you've really stepped up and done a great job.
I'd like to say that, it was great working with you on the projects, and hopefully you didn't get too discouraged, but we were at the workshops, and we come up with this idea, it's like, oh, go with the southern idea, and change it all, and then we kind of change it again, But I think the final work, you really see, all the ideas coming together to make one great idea, especially with the community signs. I think everybody likes them, they turn out well. We still have a couple to put up, but still, yeah, it turned out really well.
Congratulations. Good luck.
Yeah.
So Nathan, what are your future plans?
Well, going to political science and then I'll go to law school.
Elaine, what a good picture for the paper. We're all looking at you.
I'm gonna hide a few shorts. I couldn't, my meniscus is closed, so.
What a really good.
Take it out of the way. Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Nathan. Okay, next presentation, Marissa, if you'd like to talk about MS4.
So I see there's a lot of TV in the back.
We have our monitors right here.
Okay. So I'm just gonna step up there. Good evening, everyone. My name is Marissa. I am with KLH Engineers. I've been there since November 2021. So it's been a short but long ride with MS4, and I wanted to ask you guys real quick, how many of you come to these meetings every month? Every month. Okay. Now, how many of you that come to these meetings every month know what MS4 is? After, yeah? Okay, a few of you. Okay, that's good. Something to work with. So like they said, we've been working with the township on these MS4 projects. I think it's really awesome what they're doing. And not only that, but, I'll get into detail with it. but it is mandated by DEP, which stands for the Department of Environmental Protection. And so this is not only a requirement that they have to do, but it's also a good opportunity for the township to, alleviate some of the flooding issues that are going on within the township, and, help alleviate some of the other known issues within the municipality. So if you can hit the next slide. So what is MS4? So for those of you that don't know, it stands for Municipal Separate Storm Sewer Systems. So if you see the picture there on the left hand, well, is that your left? Yeah, your left. It is the sanitary system. So obviously sanitary goes from your house, your lateral, that's where all your poop goes. And then it goes to the treatment plant to be treated. And then your separate storm is just strictly for your storm water runoff. So anything that enters in the catch basins you may see along the roads here within the township, it's all separate. There are systems that are combined, which would be sanitary and separate, sanitary and stormwater combined. So those systems are a little bit more complicated, but in this program specifically, it's just for separate stormwater. So that's what we're going to be talking about. So like I mentioned earlier, it's issued by DEP. So like I said, it's a requirement. Go ahead. And then the reason why the township has this permit to begin with is because DEP looks at all of the municipalities that have urbanized area, and if they serve a certain amount of population within that area, then they are required to have this permit and help manage stormwater. So, kind of going off of what I just said, the map that you see over there that is outlined in red, that's the Elizabeth Township boundary, and then the big picture of what I'm talking about with the construction projects is the pollution reduction plan. And that requires the municipality to kind of, come up with projects for, the stormwater and help alleviate, like I mentioned earlier, the, just the issues that are going on and reduce the amount of pollutants that are entering the stream into the waterways of the Commonwealth. So in this picture, it's a little bit hard to see, but I have outlined there Wiley Run, that's impaired with sediment, and then the Fallen Timber Run, that's also impaired with sediment. So these are the areas that the township has to focus on to reduce the amount of pollutants and sediment that are going into those waterways. So within the permit, just as a generalized, what is the MS4 permit? What do they have to do every year, annually? So there's 6 minimum control measures, and go ahead. You can kind of just keep it as I'm talking about it. So MCM1 is your public education and outreach plan. So this is simply just the township, hey, how are we going to get the public to know what MS4 is? And you guys have some stuff out there, right? Yeah. There's a lot of information out there, and anytime that you are interested in learning more about MS4, there's a lot of resources online, and you can also email me or ask me any questions. But they have flyers and brochures that you can also ask to look at when you guys are here. MCM2, that's your public involvement and education. Your MCM3 is your illicit discharge and elimination plan. This is a big one. MCM3 is a big one because you guys might, maybe you take a stroll in the township and you see someone, I would hope not, but you would see someone dumping oil, grease, any kind of paint down the storm sewer. This is not supposed to be for stormwater purposes. So if you see someone do that, the township has a reporting of an illicit discharge that you can report, and then they would handle that situation. But we only want stormwater going into the storm drains, because otherwise that's not the point, and it's not good for the water, so you're polluting the streams. So anytime the water comes on the road, goes in the inlet, goes through the drain, and it's right in the water directly. MCM4 just deals with a lot of like permits and E&S controls, erosion and sediment control, ordinances, things like that. Same thing with MCM5, but that's more or less dealing with the post-construction after your construction activity. And then MCM6 is your pollution prevention, good housekeeping. That's your public works responsibilities, what they own, and what they kind of do with the fuels, oils, things like that they keep track of. And then your pollution reduction plan is your elimination of your stormwater best management practices. This BMP is, your ponds, your rain gardens, things like that are helping manage those pollutants that are going into these areas. So Elizabeth Township is responsible for, as I mentioned earlier, Wiley Run and Fallen Timber Run. So Wiley Run is the green area, and then your Fallen Timber Run is your pink area. So surprisingly enough, Elizabeth Township is not all urbanized. They have separate areas within the municipality that is set out for urbanized area, and that's determined by DEP, and they use the 2010 Census Bureau information. So within these areas of your urbanized area, and these are your watersheds here, these are the areas that we want to focus on for projects, because this is where all the urbanized area, you're getting most of your sediment into your streams here. So their DEP gives out, guidance on how to calculate these numbers. And honestly, don't ask me how they came up with this, but it's just something that they were like, hey, these are your numbers, use them to figure out your sediment reduction calculation. So with that being said, when we calculated it, they have to reduce 10% of their sediment each year that they have this permit, and it's a 5-year permit term. With that being said, we calculated 728,111 pounds of sediment per year. 10% of that would be your 72,811 pounds a year that they have to reduce. And why is this a problem? Because you can have sediment going into the stream, you will have erosion that cuts out the stream bank, and then this is how your roads fall apart. So it's a pretty big deal when it comes to pollutants and going into the stream. So your MS4 Phase 1 projects, where we're focusing on, what they were just talking about with the bidding, is we're focusing on the Happy Hollow Run area. Township gets a lot of complaints about, or even seeing it, flooding issues down there. So we kind of took this area, and it's the urbanized area is the hatched red, but the outlined lines are the parcels where we're focusing on these projects. So we have Bioretention 1, that is your Stony Brook Park. The plan is to put a rain garden down at the bottom of that parcel to help retain some of that water and pollutants. And then we have the pond 2 and 3. This is where Fox Run is. So when the developer was in there, they actually didn't convert any of those ponds to what they were supposed to be doing. So they're just sitting there as sediment basins, not purposing anything. So we're going in, we're gonna retrofit these ponds to therefore capture the volume that's going through here and releasing it at a slow rate, what it should have been doing from the beginning. But since they were never converted, we're hoping to see a huge impact from redoing these ponds. Same with Pond 1, that's a little bit closer to your Billings Lane and Happy Hollow intersection. Bioretention 2 and 3 is also in the Stony Brook Park area, but it's back on the drive side, Stony Brook Drive, and we're gonna put two other rain gardens there as well. So there's gonna be, from these projects alone, we're removing 34,527 pounds of sediment reduction. So with that being said, they need to continue these projects until they get to zero or further go above and beyond. And they're looking at a remaining balance of 38,284 pounds per year. And then, like they said earlier, the bid opening is on June 13th at 2 p.m. for these phase 1 projects. So these are the potential projects that we are looking at for phase 2 for many reasons, but I just want to kind of give you a snippet of what we're thinking, why we're thinking it, and what we're looking at sediment reduction wise. So Pond 1 is in the Blaine Home Ball Fields. This is owned by the Volunteer Fire Company. You know, the Greg and MS4 committee has talked about it, and you know, we think the Volunteer Fire Company will be willing to help us with this requirement. And we would be thinking about a pond over there. And then for Grouse Drive, this is on Scenery Drive behind some properties. What I thought was very interesting, and the MS4 committee had a concern due to it being such an open area in the properties. But when I looked at it, it's interesting because there's actually a stream that goes underground. So I don't know if at one time it was open and the property owners just decided to cover it up and just make it a pipe stream. But this could also be a good potential for underground stormwater facility to capture all of that water as well. But we were thinking about putting a pond here. If not a pond, then the underground stormwater facility. And then Pond 3 would be Oxford Avenue. We chose this area because with DEP and this requirement of the PRP, you have to have projects in each watershed that's impaired with sediment. So with that being said, we thought Oxford Avenue would be a good area. There's 4 parcels that we would be looking at, and you can see here that they have owners, but they haven't paid taxes, so that's something that the MS4 committee is looking into. Same with Greg. And then Pond 4 would be Broadlawn Drive. This is looking at, you know, this is owned by People's Natural Gas, so we'd have to contact them and see what we can do. But as far as sediment reduction goes, if the township decides to do all 4 of these projects, then they're looking at an above and beyond of an extra 9,573 pounds per year. But regardless, they would have to hit the 0 mark in order to meet this PRP requirement target. So what happens if they don't decide to do this? You will eventually get a fine or a consent order with DEP, meaning they will make you do this under a timeline, and it has to be done regardless. So it's almost like you wait to do all of this, and you know, then you just have enforcement actions later and get penalties later, or you spend the money now, show DEP that you're trying, and make it work, and hopefully enforcement actions are less, if any. Obviously, we don't want there to be any, but if it would happen. And then their deadline for the PRP is November 30th of 2023. So this is why we're trying to really get these projects in the ground now and start planning for phase 2 for next year. So, good news. You guys are probably like, what the heck? But good news, grant opportunities. Greg mentioned earlier the Growing Greener grant, and this is a new program through DEP. So this is something that they can apply for. The max asking would be $500,000. So this would really help the township in, you know, achieving these goals and really getting these projects in the ground at a less of a cost. And then if you want any more information, you can feel free to just go on DEP's website and see what the program's about. Fingers crossed. Any questions? Yes.
I wasn't planning, I just had 2 quick remarks, but I didn't know this was all going to come up. But this is I just want everybody to know, this is a unfunded mandate, except for getting some of these grants, correct?
Correct.
This is big governing again. And this is for the township commissioners. The next question I had, and I'm going to tell you why. I have a friend that owns property all over southwestern Pennsylvania. I won't name the community, he has property in this one community, and he started getting bills from this MS4, okay, over this. They set up an authority, and he didn't know what it was or anything. He knows I'm interested. He called me up. He's out of the country right now. I wanted to get copies of the bills. So I don't know if they have an authority, or is this township going to create an authority to handle this project?
We have a committee that handles it. Works.
You're going to keep it in the committee? Okay.
Yes.
This is, requirements, codes, ordinances. These are from the big government enforcing these residents that have back taxes to pay. You're not mandated to do nothing. I just heard an officer, I hear a lot of codes and mandates, not laws. When the officer was sworn in, he was talking about Constitution. A lot of all this stuff is a lot of big government, like he said. I don't see no water problem in the township. And even the sediment, I think it sounds kind of nonsensical.
I mean, I definitely hear you, and trust me, you're not the only one. But unfortunately, because this permit is required, it's township responsibility, and if not, then they're gonna have to pay the price later.
Not if we all agree as a community.
I'll leave that up to the commissioners.
Right.
Does KLH
Yes.
have a figure for what that's gonna cost? That's the only question.
We're still in the planning process, but yeah, we don't want to put out a figure that's gonna be erroneous.
Go ahead.
Does this only deal with settlement? Or is it sediment, or is this deal with like the leaking, sanitation, and all that stuff down in the York
Yeah.
River and all that stuff? Is
So
this
that's
disgusting? DEP right there, and it's gross.
yes, that's under a different permit. Yeah.
How many permits do you need to stick on this? 100, 5,000? I mean, every time I turn around, I'm here tonight just about that. Spending $20,000, $30,000 on permits over the last 10 years for this, engineering fees, every goddamn time I turn around to do business in this freaking township running this state, y'all people want money off me to fund all this.
So what this is,
I mean, this is a new DEP water thing. If you build a building, you're supposed to dig a big damn hole for $20,000. I do tree work.
Mr. Vasco, it's a state permit, it's not a local permit.
Yeah, but I know how this all works. I mean, I keep paying money and money and money. Now, I came here tonight, I wasn't even expecting this new MS4, 5, 10, 15. It's always the same thing. It's a new fee that we have, our sewage bill doubled, our electric bill doubled. Now you're gonna give me a fee for this?
Mr. Vasco, this has been going on for years, this isn't something.
I know, I've been here for years, dude. I've been here since
Township
1970.
Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection.
I know who they are. Hurt Mills squeeze so much shit on the township.
The presentation tonight was mainly for us to decide on the next phase of projects that we can do.
And just put up for the public of what MS4 is. So, any questions from the commissioners?
No, I would like to thank Marissa for coming out tonight, she's my
Appreciate it.
main point of contact for these projects. And, we probably talk at least once a week, maybe more. So the phase 2 projects will be under discussion, probably at our next workshop meeting.
Okay, thank you.
May I make it my question?
Yes. Go ahead.
I wanna know why we're responsible for Fox Run. They built Fox Run, they're responsible for turning it into a bicycle. Everyone I've ever done in my life, I have to do it. My company goes in and does it after 2 or 3 years, whatever it is, it's 70% growth. Why are we responsible for that? They should be responsible for them two bonds.
Well, he works for Melee, so he does bonds.
Right.
And then you are responsible.
Right, that's correct.
And there's so many years before you transfer to the bio bond. Now, Fox Run built this place, now, I'm not sure who built it for Fox Run, but that guy should be responsible for them two bonds.
The developer who did Fox Run is no longer in business. So
There
that,
should be issues about that. I mean, you didn't just build Fox Run, I mean, Fox Run was built,
that's correct.
how many years ago?
It's probably been built at least 25 years, 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing,
So,
wow.
unfortunately, this program is about fixing the sins of the fathers, things that weren't done correctly. That's why the administrative consent order has happened for all the communities that are tributary to Alcosan. And in your case, with the consent order decree for sanitary sewage, like the gentleman in the back was talking about. A lot of times with infrastructure, it's out of sight, out of mind during construction. People don't really care, to be quite honest, about pipes underground, until there's an issue with sewage going into creeks or backing up in the basements. The MS4 program has actually been around since 2003. It's been rolled out in different phases. And not every community has been doing it since 2003. They've been under different. Again, that's different kind of fish. What I'm talking about is, this has been going on.
They were out of business, that shouldn't have followed up.
Well, it's being followed up now.
This is for a separate discussion. This is for a separate discussion. I mean, this was just a presentation, kind of, you know, get out there what we're going. We're mandated by the DEP to do this. Just want to explain why. So,
I wasn't arguing about
I know.
that. My point was, I'm sure that they should have been fun.
I just have a question. You said the DEP came up with a calculation on how to calculate it, and it was like 728 you had.
Yeah, they
So,
have
You
certain-
calculated that based off of, was there like a time frame that you looked at, that you did that for?
What they do is, it's a metric based on, they assume that every acre contributes this amount of nitrogen, this amount of phosphorus, this amount of sediment. So depending on what your impediment is, in this case it's 7, you calculate that off your urbanized area, and that's how much you get. Now, how do they get to that X pounds per acre? There is documentation obviously on that, but it's way in the weeds for this discussion. But they give you the metric to follow, and then that's what we have to build off of.
So it's based off of your acreage in the township?
It's based off the urbanized area acres, yes.
This is how to answer that. I was running, Alpine Village for the Township, and you'll appreciate this. The water company put a water tank up on top of the hill. I made them for part of the deal in selling the property, put in a drain system, they have a drain, they have a, what do you call it, holding fund, and the riprap, all that was done. And as a, you know, then as a Delta developer, they made all kinds of arguments to be improved. But we, as a township, forced them to do it. They were the developer, and they did that. And if you want to know, there's all kind of pipe system up there beyond the Chinese restaurant. There's a whole big pond up there. You see the riprap.
Marissa, thank you. Okay, next is, public comments, Jeremy Seach. Can you state your name and your address for the record?
Yeah, Jeremy Seach, 1613 Parkview Street, Univista, PA.
Okay.
On behalf of my fire damage at 1730 Sahara, the property's now been donated to the historical center. They're going to reconstruct it, and I'm just looking at getting my fire rescue money back.
We'll have Chris reach out to you after the meeting, tell you what the stages are, or the steps are for that.
Why? Is there a reason we can't talk about it right here?
That's not what this is for. This is a public comments, part of the meeting. Okay, thank you. Emil Buick?
Like a joke.
This is real quick.
We're talking
Emil, name and address for the record.
Emil Buick, 255 Standards Drive. I'm helping an individual in a opiate settlement, and I got a file about that, Vic. I do all their paperwork there. But it's the Shackley, Purdue, not the chicken people that have been done. This has been going on for maybe 7, 8 years, and the figures keep changing all the time, okay? My question to you is, looks like you guys are gonna sign off. Do you know how much you're gonna get?
We have no idea. The county needs our participation for them to receive funding and also for us to receive funding, but we have no idea.
That's all. Okay, thanks. Patty Hoffman?
Patty Hoffman, 408 Duncan Station Road. I have 3 things to talk about. The first one is item number 10.
exciting about the fall festival, however, why aren't we showcasing Chapel Drive or the community center or another park instead of here at the township building?
We thought for space and for parking, just in case there's a rain date, we have a municipal garage rate here, worked out very, very well for the east.
The community center was initially talked about.
Okay. What about Chapel Drive?
That's not ready.
It's not ready.
Not even for, I mean, you don't really need anything other than Fort Johnson
Except for rain.
tents.
Yeah. We just thought this building would probably be the best place, the correct entity did.
Okay.
We're also gonna stage some of the sanitary, like the large generators, when they go up for sale up at Chapel. So buyers can come in and look at it and then ultimately haul away. So the parking lot's gonna be a little bit cluttered for a while, a couple of blocks maybe.
Well, that's not nice because we want to showcase Chapel Drive. We
Yeah.
don't want to do it in clutter. Okay, well, that was number one, all right, thank you for that. And the alarm system, how long is that gonna take to change over? And I'm thankful because that's a disaster with it going off all the time when you go down there. Now they're gonna deal with it until it's changed around.
I'm making barrier. You talking about the community center?
Yeah.
That should be quick.
Yeah. I'll ask my guy on Wednesday, I'm meeting on Wednesday, down at the treatment plant, because we're gonna move that system also.
Okay. That'd be nice if we can actually get down there and.
I can't really talk to him until it's approved, so can't really schedule anything.
Okay, third thing is on the, 570 Jacktown Road. Back in 2017, on May 1st of 2017, in the, one of the meetings, Andrew Monick talked about, talking to the DEP and about EQT purchasing the property across the street from him and not having to pay delinquent taxes. That property happened to be 517 Jacktown Road. So, question for you, you're now getting, I don't know who the current owner was supposed to be, but at this point in time in 2017, it was supposed to be EQT, and they hadn't paid any back taxes on it, so it's something that you need to look up and find out why this happened. And did EQT purchase other property that they didn't pay the back taxes on, and, I mean, could be an issue. I mean, we could be, instead of using this grant money for 570, we could be using it for something else.
Greg will write it down because of
Okay.
517 Jack.
570, 570.
570 Jacktown.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, he'll get it, thanks, Becky. Next is Tim Baskin.
Tim Baskin, United States Drive. Thing, you got a dump across from my house. Now that concrete pumpers pumping concrete over there. Crash clipping, just stink the shit out of my house. All the garbage being dumped there. Concrete block, rebar, which you guys broke your lawnmower on, so in the grass there. That's one of my.
Across your front porch.
Yeah, it's on my.
Chris, you familiar with the property?
Fine. It's been talked about before. We've been putting a dumping sign up, but someone told me that they're not gonna put a dumping sign up. So it's gonna continue. I'm just letting you know, first and foremost, here's number one. Two, we need to talk to you two guys, would you preach about this business here in Elizabeth Township? You know, I've been here a long time. The first time I came here, you guys, not you guys, because most of you aren't here. Two of you people sitting in them seats there delayed me 9 months of buying my property because of an idiot across the street from me. 9 months on excavating. 2 years of putting a building up down there delayed my progress in my business. 4 years because of political crap sitting in these seats. I'm not saying you guys, but y'all know about it. You know who it is. All you guys know who that person was. I'm buying another piece of property next to me. It's been 1.5 years, but I've been paying fee after fee after fee. I'm tired of paying fees. I don't own the property. My paperwork got mixed, wasn't filed right or whatever it was. You just had another meeting to reset my variance again. I still don't own the property. Why? Meanwhile, my competitors, you allow to operate from their house. They're building garages on their property, storing his equipment in there. I told you about that 4 years ago, man. He's still operating. He takes work off of me. He just did the work at the high school that I used to do all their tree work up there. He's up there cutting trees with unstickered trucks and stuff. You give him a permit to put a garage up. I wasn't allowed to do any of this at my house. You kicked me out of my house and made me move down there to Intercross. That's number two. I'm still trying to get done by this property a year and a half later. Nobody knows.
I think the.
Does it know any county? I mean, who do I go see? I paid you guys, I paid you $900 fee that I don't know where it went. I paid you $500 fee for getting this property separated. I have all this paperwork, trust me, $900 fee and a $500 fee.
He's talking about a subdivision.
A subdivision.
Did you file it at the county?
No, I have all this paperwork, I'm just asking why it took me a year and a half, and my competitor gets a permit to go in a garage in 2 minutes and have it up. This is my second rodeo here. Is it me, or am I missing something?
We did have a turnover in code, it could have been something with that, only thing I can think of too.
So this paperwork originally filed, where was it filed at? Is that an idea?
I filed here. I started this in June.
And what paperwork exactly is that?
It was the subdivision of the property down there. We already went through all the boards. I had all these meetings.
So that part's done.
Everything is done. I'm just here now. I didn't get to talk last week. There was too much going on. But this week I'm talking.
What's not done on it?
I don't know why my paperwork was not filed down in Allegheny County, delaying me an extra 6 to 9 months on buying this one.
Is it filed now, Tim, do you know?
It gets filed. I just had it filed.
Are you talking about your subdivision plan?
My subdivision. I'm
So
talking
it was
about.
approved here, correct?
Right.
We don't file it.
Yeah, the property owner files it after you get it.
It's all approved, it's now approved here. It was approved once before, and then you guys had to reapprove that here twice.
And then it goes back to you to record.
Well, it went all over the place. I'm just trying to find out why it takes the goddamn long for me to do anything.
If
You don't wanna talk about business, you know,
If you don't file it in the county, you
Hey,
can't do
Tim,
it.
where were you?
I know you're all going there.
We'll try to see what we can do to make sure everything's good. Nick, Hanratty.
Nick Kennedy, 531, 551, 561 Unisys. I can talk a little bit about last month, I asked about the sewage, and I was told I didn't know what I was talking about. But you helped my buddy get a $1,500 fine for not paying his sewage because he had his address. So then he got hit with a $1,500 fine, late fees and all that stuff.
You're spending also already back.
No, it is, it's true. He has the paperwork.
3 minutes.
All right, and then, do we know anything that's going on down in Dad's Lane with all the sewage that's dumping in? You told me it was all getting re-engineered and all that stuff. It's disgusting. The amount of heroin needles and all that stuff, it's floating in my buddy's backyard all the time. Every time we get a heavy rain, it's disgusting. Can we put a sock or something over some of these leaky sewage steps?
What street's that?
Dad's Lane. I was told they couldn't do nothing, it's getting all re-engineered and all that stuff. But it's like, I live down the river, and it's, all that crap floats down the river. You get people out there on the weekends, right now it's beautiful, there's 100, 200, 300, 400 people. One person steps on a heroin needle, ruins their lives. When all we can do is put a sock over top of it, and we catch all the sediment, every couple months change it out. There's all kinds of them leaking down there, it's disgusting, it really is. And then another point, did I hear that Chris is getting some help finally?
We hired an assistant code.
Alright, cool, see, I definitely, cause I want, like him, I'm trying to add on all that stuff and then get all that stuff done. And then, with the chief, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with the drones. Like, the other day, my dad was working down my house and the drone came down there and was zooming in on him, and then my dad had to go address the officers about it, cause it was kind of crappy. And then we were told it was practicing, but it's like, drone right in on my dad working and all that stuff. Oh yeah, we can see inside your house and all that stuff. Like, that's not right if you tell something like my dad, like stuff like that.
So the Allegheny Passage Trail is the most advantageous training location for us to have, talking about a $26,000 piece of equipment. And while the guys, although they're now certified, they would run it independently without, now they're FAA certified. The Passage Trail with the side-by-sides is the largest site to operator location we have.
Nice.
And we've also, in our time here, have had the largest search and rescue along the Allegheny Passage Trail.
Oh yeah, dude, this is always big in that
For
stuff.
people that are, troubled or people in medical need. So we're using the trail because it is our #1 location. It's also our practice location in the area between, the Buena Vista swimming pool and the Glidale, baseball field is the most advantageous site, like variation of site to drone.
Alright.
So
No, I was just wondering, like, it was there, like, my dad has seen the drone and focused on him for over half an hour, or whatever it was, like 15, 20 minutes. He playing through 30 boards, and the drone was still sitting, focused on him.
We have no active investigations on forensic or.
No, I'm just wondering, it's, we've had drones before, they come down, they come out, say the doors, and there are other drones, they come through, like, you're sitting in the back porch, and the drones come through, I mean, it's definitely just some kid or adult or whatnot, but it's like, there's creepy drones coming around and stuff all the time. It's like you get a drone like this, and there's no warning to anybody. Like, hey, we're gonna be doing some drone stuff, practice and stuff like that. Just like a little heads up, like with the newsletter or something like, hey, we're gonna be throwing drones around. Don't be freaked out. We're just doing some procedures and something like that. That way we just know. Okay.
Thanks, Nick.
Yeah. Thanks.
Janet Rosa?
Janet Roslin, 1400 Round Hill Road. I realize that Douglas Run Road is not in our purview for repair, but Gillespie Creek not long ago came down, took a little bite out of Douglas Run Road just south of its intersection with Round Hill Road. And it was very neatly patched. It was very smooth. I liked all of that. But it's a large black area, and on one dark and stormy night, when it's a new moon, Gillespie Creek is going to reach up and grab somebody into the creek. Could you intervene on our behalf and ask, I guess it's the state road people, to restore the white line on the edge of the road? There's no guardrail there, that's one thing, but it's very enticing to want to go right into Gillespie Road. My other point, I just wish to defend myself from May 1st's end of the meeting, in which Emil sort of loosely referred to the objectors in the compressor station team as eco-terrorists, which is a term that has a very precise, am I not right, Mr. Kunis, legal meaning, and it involves coercion, intimidation, violence that can harm humans. None of us were into that. That was a little bit over the top, and I think perhaps if you could have called him out on that, because he's now not just a citizen, he's a representative on the planning commission board, but at any rate, to all concerned, no, we were just citizens stating our case and are not terrorists. Thanks.
Thanks, Jen. Greg said he'll look into contact the state for you.
Oh, good, thanks.
Thank you.
I would ask for a motion and second on a motion to amend the agenda to add a motion to award the Mansfield Bridge project to Stash Contracting as low bidder at a cost of $102,430.
I'll make that motion.
That should be storm sewer, not Mansfield Bridge storm sewer. Storm sewer.
I don't know why I heard bridge, I'm sorry, storm sewer. Need a motion and second?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. Okay, next is resolutions. Motion to approve resolution 2023-06 authorizing the disposition of township records listed in the resolution as set forth in the municipal records manual approved on December 16th, 2008. I get a motion?
Make that motion.
I get a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, great, roll call.
Commissioner Kane.
Yes.
Commissioner Watt.
Yes.
Commissioner Campus. Yes. Commissioner Walls.
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict.
Yes.
Commissioner Tillman.
Yes.
President Boyer.
Yes. Number 2, motion to approve resolution 2023-07 authorizing Elizabeth Township, Allegheny County to enter into settlement agreements with McKesson Corporation, Cardinal Health Inc., Amerisource Bergen Corporation, Johnson & Johnson, Janssen Pharmaceuticals Inc., Ortho McNeil Janssen Pharmaceuticals Inc., and Janssen Pharmaceutica Inc., and agree to the terms of the Pennsylvania Opioid Misuse and Addiction Abatement Trust. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call vote? I'm sorry, all those in favor, say aye. Is it roll call?
Yeah, it's
Roll call vote.
Commissioner Kent?
Yes.
Commissioner Watt?
Yes.
Commissioner Campus? Yes. Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict?
Yes.
Commissioner Tillman?
Yes.
President Boyer?
Yes. Next is motion to adopt resolution 2023-08, requesting Act 152 grant funding from the Allegheny County Economic Development for blight remediation. Funding would be used to demolish buildings at 404 Park Avenue, 570 Jacktown Road, and 164 Wiggles Hill Road. Can I get a motion?
Could we have some, so if what Patty said earlier with the 570,
Let's do motion second, we can do discussion. Okay, can I get motion?
I'll make that motion.
Can I get second?
Second.
Okay, Jim.
so if 570 ends up where the back taxes are owed, we can use that money, is there another property we can entertain there?
I think it still needs demolished, so.
Probably not.
Yeah, it still needs demolished.
So would those back tax money be used for other purposes then?
So you're assuming back taxes here, but that's all liened. That's not money that would come our way. I believe, Matt, would that be your interpretation
I
of
would
that?
think so. I don't know what she was talking about EPT or their involvement. But typically, when a property transfers, the taxes will be paid. If there's still delinquent taxes on it, there's a blighted property, the property's gonna be liened, you're not gonna get the money back until or unless the property is ever sold. And even if it does get sold, usually if it's vacant, either vacant property recovery program or sheriff sale will end up ultimately for the law.
Go after the owner's position of properties.
You could, yeah, under the blight laws, you can, depending on who the owner is. If it's EQ2, especially. I'd be surprised if they didn't pay that.
Any other questions? We do a roll call vote?
Commissioner Kent?
Yes.
Commissioner Watt?
Yes.
Commissioner Campus?
Yes.
Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict?
Yes.
Commissioner Tillman?
Yes.
President Boyer?
Yes. Okay, next is ordinances. Number one, motion to approve ordinance 975, rescinding ordinance 947, which designated Wildcat Hollow as a one-way street. Can I get a motion?
I'll make it motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Greg, you want to explain that?
Sure. Somehow 2.5 years ago, when I started as interim manager, Jamie and I found a signed resolution with doing this exact thing. It was signed by, at the time, President Walk and myself, but it didn't have a number on it. So we couldn't file without a number. So all we're really doing is creating a number, revoting.
For something that was previously approved. Okay. Okay, roll call. Yeah,
So it's not gonna be one way now?
It will be two-way, yes.
Roll call vote?
Commissioner Kent?
Yes.
Commissioner Walk?
Yes.
Commissioner Campus? Yes. Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict?
Yes.
Commissioner Tillman?
Yes.
President Boyer?
Yes. Next is items for consideration. Number one, motion to approve the Commissioners' Workshop meeting minutes dated April 17th, 2023. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. Okay, we're gonna pull number two. Number three, motion to approve the Commissioners' Workshop meeting minutes dated May 15th, 2023. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. Okay, number four, motion to consolidate two existing parcels into one at 968 Scenery Drive, McConaughey property. The property exists in an R2 zoning district. Can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. Okay, number five, motion to approve a lot line revision between parcel number 653-G-309 and number 653-G-311 at 5825 Smithfield Street. It's a Pemberton property. The property exists in a B1 zoning district. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay, the ayes have it.
At this time, I would ask for a motion and second on a motion to award the Mansfield Stormwater Project to Stash Contracting at a low bidder at a cost of $102,000
So moved. Second.
Okay. Greg, roll call vote?
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Watt,
Yes.
Commissioner Campus,
Yes.
Commissioner Walls,
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict,
Yes.
Commissioner Toma,
Yes.
President Blair.
Yes. Next is motion to approve the township bill warrant dated June 5th, 2023 in the amount of $688,126.21. Can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call vote?
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Watt,
Yes.
Commissioner Campus, Commissioner Walls,
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict.
Yes.
Commissioner Toma,
I would like to abstain from any billing that had to do with, Raccoon Small Group.
President Blair.
But yes,
Yes.
on every other.
Okay, next is motion to approve sanitary bill warrant dated June 5th, 2023 in the amount of $253,738.54. Can I get a motion?
Make that motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call vote?
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Watt,
Yes.
Commissioner Campus,
Yes.
Commissioner Walls,
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict.
Yes.
Commissioner Toma,
I'd like to abstain from all, any billing that has to do with Raccoon Small Group, but everything else, yes.
President Blair.
Yes. Next, motion to approve the payment of bond requisition number 21 of the series of 2019 B bond in the amount of $21,600. The payment is for engineering fees related to the pump station construction. Can I get a motion?
Make that motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, roll call vote?
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Watt.
Yes.
Commissioner Campus.
Yes.
Commissioner Walls,
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict.
Yes.
Commissioner Toma,
Yes.
President Blair.
Yes. Next is motion to ratify vote from May 3rd, 2023 to approve Stash Contracting as the lowest responsible bidder for the Community Development Year 48 grant through SHACOG at a cost of $45,300. The township will use this grant funding to demolish the following properties: 2078 Smithdale Street, 2141 Smithville Street, 2219 Ocean Street, and 2322 Margaret Street. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second? Okay, roll call vote?
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Watt.
Yes.
Commissioner Campus.
Yes.
Commissioner Walls,
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict.
Yes.
Commissioner Toma,
Yes.
President Blair.
Yes. Motion to set the date for the 2023 Elizabeth Township Fall Festival on October 7th, 2023. The event will be held at the Township Municipal Building. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote?
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Watt.
Yes.
Commissioner Campus.
Yes.
Commissioner Walls,
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict.
Yes.
Commissioner Toma,
Yes.
President Blair.
Yes. Motion to promote officers Dwayne Bear, Michael Myhall, and Robert Brzezinski from Class C to Class D officers as per the current uniform collective bargaining agreement. Hourly based wages for these officers will increase from $25.76 to $30.91 per uniform collective bargaining agreement. Can I get a motion?
Make that motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call vote?
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Watt.
Yes.
Commissioner Campus.
Yes.
Commissioner Walls,
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict.
Yes.
Commissioner Toma,
Yes.
President Blair.
Yes. Next is motion to authorize the condemnation of the following properties for demolition as listed on below.
Let the minutes reflect that there are 21 properties.
Can I get a motion?
So
I'll make
moved.
that motion.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Watt,
Yes.
Commissioner Campus.
Yes.
Commissioner Walls,
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict.
Yes.
Commissioner Toma,
Yes.
President Blair.
Yes. Motion to upgrade the alarm system in the community center buildings at a cost of $1,974.35. The current system is discontinued and no longer supported. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Watt.
Yes.
Commissioner Campus.
Yes.
Commissioner Walls,
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict.
Yes.
Commissioner Toma,
Yes.
President Blair.
Yes. Motion to accept the proposal for Jacktown Road engineering services from KLH Engineers at an estimated cost of $40,680. Services under the proposal include surveying, design, cost estimate, plan preparation, bid and contract documents, submittals, as-built, resident observation, and administrative contract. Can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Can I get a second?
Second, but I do have questions.
Okay.
Good, you go first.
Is that a cost not to exceed, material not to exceed, or what is that?
volume dirt and gravel project. The vast majority of this is being paid for under the grant. A portion of it is considered either in-kind cost, so that is the number that we're doing the services for.
My question has to do with the scope of that, investigation. Is this going to include the slides going up the hill, or is this the situation that is currently being used, that we just reopened?
No, this is from 4 distinct slide areas, from Mill Hill down to Jacktown Bridge.
Down to the bridge, so basically it's that whole section of Jacktown.
Yes, there's 4 distinct slide areas we're going to those with geotechnical.
All right, and then, the geotechnical part of that, is that part of the, small roads and gravel program as well?
That's correct. Yes.
Is that a different bid as well?
It's all through us.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you. You're welcome.
So I gotta ask the question like Mark just did. So if you're saying this is the not to exceed number, so it could come under that?
That's
That's what
correct.
you're saying?
That's correct.
But it's not gonna,
Any other questions?
So what do you feel, is that what you feel it's gonna be?
That's why I made that, yes. What it is I don't have the paperwork in front of me, but I want to say about 25,000 of it is under the grant. You received.
I don't care where it's coming from. I'm saying the work that's being done.
So we completed the survey, survey of the work. So there's a fixed cost of X number of days with that. And then there's a cost to design it, there's a cost to prepare the plans and specifications, there's a cost to bid it out, answer the contractor questions, administer contracts, and then there's a cost for resident inspection of the project once it goes into construction.
Kevin, do you have any idea how much the actual contract's gonna be to fix everything? This is just for your fees here.
That's correct. So you have 2 distinct grants, and we did that, we had a process to make that work out to be around $300,000.
What do you think the construction costs are gonna be, just, I don't hold you to it, but you can ballpark.
Approximately $300,000.
Okay, so you think they will be about 300?
You have 2 grants that are totaling $350,000.
Okay, so this should be fully covered by grants.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes. Aside from your in-kind contribution.
Yeah, it's a match.
To the 1 grant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other
So
questions?
that's about 13%. 13% cost, engineering, total project.
Is that normal? 13%?
I would say it is, might actually be good, I mean, it's normal. It's normal. It doesn't alarm me at all, but that's just me.
Roll
It seems
call.
like a lot of money to me for 1 road. It's not like 10,000.
There's 7 slides.
It's also putting in some storm sewer, it's replacing the guide rail. There's a lot of other things besides just the 4 slide areas.
Okay.
Roll call vote.
Commissioner Kane,
yes.
Commissioner Watt,
Yes.
Commissioner Campbell,
Yes.
Commissioner Walls,
No.
Commissioner Benedict,
No.
Commissioner Toma,
No.
President Boyer.
Yes. Motion to add the drop provision effective January 1st, 2022 to the contract with Pennsylvania Municipal Retirement Services at an approximate additional annual cost of $25,474. The drop retirement option is contained within the uniform collective bargaining agreement. Can I get a motion? Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call vote?
Commissioner Kane,
Yes.
Commissioner Watt.
Yes.
Commissioner Campus.
Yes.
Commissioner Walls.
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict.
Yes.
Commissioner Toma,
Yes.
President Boyer.
Yes. Motion to authorize KLH engineers to prepare bid specifications for the milling and paving of municipal building parking lot and road leading to the municipal ball field. Can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this?
Yeah, didn't we just pay the road to the ball field? Like, I think Paul Twiley just paid that last year, the road from, we're talking about this.
I'm not sure.
Right from the salt shed up. We just drove it, it was just paid last year, not the parking lot was it?
Right.
So,
Okay, well, we can knock that out.
Maybe some drainage stuff, because
there's a new drain up there too.
The building house, Patrick there.
This is just. Just paid it.
Yeah, I guess I simply wasn't paying.
Is that you that for the regular enough, or was that kind of that?
That was me.
Oh, was you, okay, so it probably just wasn't there then.
Yeah, it could.
Do we want to modify?
Yeah,
Okay.
just say, just amend the motion, just say, if necessary, just.
Okay, we amend it just as necessary. Okay, roll call vote?
Commissioner Kane?
Yes.
Commissioner Walk?
Yes.
Commissioner Campus?
Yes.
Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict?
Yes.
Commissioner Toma?
Yes.
President Poyer?
Yes. Motion to ratify the vote to hire Autumn Zwiggle as a part-time code administrative assistant at $18 per hour. Autumn's start date was May 13th, 2023. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call vote?
Commissioner Kane?
Yes.
Commissioner Walk?
Yes.
Commissioner Campus?
Yes.
Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict?
Yes.
Commissioner Toma?
Yes.
President Poyer?
Yes. Motion to ratify the vote on May 4th, 2023 to donate $300 to the Elizabethboro Memorial Day Parade and $150 to the St. Michael's 2023 Parish Festival. Can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Can I get a second? Any discussion?
I'd just like to add, it was an honor to be part of the parade for.
For the veterans.
Yeah, that's nice.
That was good event.
I think we had, what, four commissioners? Yeah, attended. Roll call vote?
Commissioner Kane?
Yes.
Commissioner Walk?
Yes.
Commissioner Campus?
Yes.
Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict?
Yes.
Commissioner Toma?
Yes.
President Poyer?
Yes. Motion to ratify the vote on May 12th, 2023 to donate $500 to the Blainville Fire Department 2023 Community Day event. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Commissioner Kane?
Yes.
Commissioner Walk?
Yes.
Commissioner Campus?
Yes.
Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict?
Yes.
Commissioner Toma?
Yes.
President Poyer?
Yes. Motion to amend the Elizabeth Township fee schedule to reflect a $50 increase for all one-day building rentals at the community center beginning June 1st, 2024. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second. Roll call
I do
vote?
have a question on that. All one-day rentals. So there are multiple times when people rent that place for 3 days. So is that all gonna be included? Or is there maybe a little?
We want the workshop, we can discuss the higher part-day rentals.
Well, no, that's what I'm talking about. You know, a multi-day rental, I mean, it really, how does that read to you? Does that feel like that would cover that?
No, that's an evening's only one day rental.
Yeah, so this
Multi-days.
is, it would be a multi-day, no, it's gonna be,
Well, I think we'll talk about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, we'll put the workshop meeting to,
Well, you can just.
you know what?
discuss it. Yeah, discuss it this weekend.
it's only fee
You can
schedule.
amend this one tonight and then amend it at the work, at the next meeting if you want, we can include multi-days. This one right now, I believe only includes one day rental.
Well, we have to ask them to multi.
We'll then do this one tonight and then do the
All right.
multi at the next meeting.
Roll call vote?
Commissioner Kane?
Yes.
Commissioner Walk?
Yes.
Commissioner Campus?
Yes.
Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict?
Yes.
Commissioner Toma?
Yes.
President Poyer?
Yes. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Can I get a second? Thank you, everyone.